Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. And as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I actually went to bed, but I couldn't get to sleep. And I thought about a good, interesting video to post. Because I try my best to post stuff that the young up-and-coming musicians can just kind of use, information. Knowledge is king. Knowledge is king. The more you know, the better off you are in most cases. So I guess I'm going to entitle this video. What am I going to entitle this? Another interesting story regarding no two players play the same. Because every now and then I get these comments from people. And when I read them to myself, I say to myself, I'm going to do a video on this because I don't want the young folks to have this kind of mentality that you hear some dude on the radio record and you want to play just like him. I'm not big on doing other people's solos because it is what it is. The word itself is self-explanatory. Solo, not a group of other guys, Solo means your own personal expression. And I'm going to say this before I kind of get into this because I'm glad that one of my subscribers get it. I just posted a video for him, or should I say I sent it to his email. He wanted me to do a cover of a Cameo song. I think it's For Your Love or something like that. Shout out to Steve, I believe his name is. And he was quite appreciative that I did the cover for him. He said, now I got to learn it and put my own stamp on it. I was so glad to hear him say that, because that's what you're supposed to do. Put your own stamp on it. Not try to be just like the dude on the record. Like I told you, I can get 5 guys in here right now, give them one guitar and have them play the same song and just pass the guitar around. Not only are they going to play that piece differently from each other, it's going to sound different on the same guitar with a different person. And there's some people that just don't understand that. I had did a cover. I'm not even going to mention the name and get into the personal, real ass details of it because it's irrelevant. But the point is, I did a cover of a song, and the gentleman stated that he played on this particular song, and he said, you played it like this, but I play it like this. And I said to myself, you're a professional musician too, and you don't get this? No two people are going to play the same. Then he proceeded to leave me a long message and how he played it. And I say to myself, why do people do this? Because first of all, that ship has sailed. I'm probably never going to play that song again in my entire life. So why do I need to know how you played this? I'm not going to adapt your way of playing it because that's not how I play it. Now, it's totally different when you play something that's totally unrecognizable because you put too much of a stamp on it. But, as you become a seasoned musician, you know your balance. You can create your balance now. My cat wants to leave. Goodbye. Sorry about that. You know your balance. You know what to put in there that's kind of your original, and you know how to stick to the script, so to speak, too. So I don't understand that from people that are musicians that actually played on professional recordings. And that's different when you just starting and you don't know, what to do at this point, and you rely on teachers and other people to kind of guide you in this direction. But I find it interesting when I get that from people that are, professional players or have played on professional recordings that they never got that. That's something that you pick up before you become a professional. If you become a professional, I realized that 2 years into my playing, if not sooner. I'm like, okay, this is how he do it. And I hear some other stuff that I'm good at doing, so you add a little bit, that's what most of us do. But again, I'm just really taken back how some people just don't get it. It's like, dude, I'm not you. I don't play like you. I never plan on playing like you. There's no need for you to leave me these long drawn out chords and this is how I do it. Fine, that's how you do it. And the key word in that statement is you, not me. This is how I do it, But over the years, and it's an honor when I get, comments from people that have actually played the actual piece, wrote it. I've gotten quite a few comments from a lot of gentlemen from Cameo, the original lineup back in the 70s. And they said, man, you did a good job. Thank you. I'm like, no, thank you. I've gotten, comments from Nile Rodgers camp. And then one day I actually got an email from Nile Rodgers because the guy that heard me said, man, I got to tell Niles about you. And I was that was really one of my most proudest moments because I'm like, when I first started to play the guitar, my biggest influences were Nile Rodgers and Ray Parker Jr. and Al McKay, or in this order: Nile Rodgers, Al McKay from the Earth, Wind and Fire, and then Ray Parker Jr. So it's quite an honor when I do receive comments from the people that have been a big part of my plan. And I get a handful of people that are just the opposite of that. And here's one that's pretty funny. And it's like the common, I guess, thread in these two stories are both of these guys were drummers or are drummers. I got an email I did a GQ song, and I'm a huge GQ fan. I think Emmanuel was one of the greatest singers I've ever heard, the lead singer, and he's a very unique, underrated guitar player. I mean, he's a great guitar player. And it's hard to play his stuff and his style because he has such unique, rare voicings. He don't play a whole lot of bar chords like my style is. I play a lot of bar chords like Nile Rodgers, but his is a lot of open face chords and double stops and things of that nature and octaves and that kind of stuff. And that's just not my style of playing. But, I did a good job and did justice to the songs that I decided to tackle. So I got an email from this guy that claims he was the drummer. I'm like, well, I know you wasn't the first drummer. And there was a second drummer when they were, the last album or so. And then maybe there was another one. But he's like, I used to, rehearse and play with these guys. And just don't sound nothing like it. And I'm like, it's interesting when drummers think that they're guitar experts. It's different when you play multiple instruments. But most drummers, professional drummers just play drums. With the exception of Prince, who was a great drummer, great bass player, great guitar player, great keyboard player, but usually they're just drummers. And, he went on about how it wasn't like the record and all that. I'm like, dude, you must don't have a good ear because I land up well because I don't post anything that don't sound good enough and close enough to the record as I'm playing along with the record. I've attempted to do some songs. I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna work. It don't sound good, So therefore, it doesn't get posted. And then I had another one, another drummer, Gene Chandler. I did the Gene Chandler song. You don't play like that. I play with those guys. And I got confirmation from one of the actual guitar players during that time to play with Gene Chandler. And about a year later, he chimed in and said, man, I played with Gene Chandler. And you played the stuff you did, I think, was better than what I was doing back in the day. And that was an honor. And it's a small word because I knew Gene Chandler's mother. I used to date a girl, and I used to take her to Gene Chandler's mother's house because she was a beautician. Go down in the basement, she does her hair, and I'm looking at all these awards on the wall, and yeah, that's my baby. It's unfortunate I never got a chance to meet Mr. Chandler during that time, but I was a teenager then. I wasn't good at all, so it's like maybe it was a good idea that it didn't. But it's unfortunate that I had met him 10 years down the line when I became a better guitar player and songwriter. So that was validation from the guitar player himself. Dude, you did a good job. Because I told him about the story about the drummer. He's like, man, don't listen to that dude. You got a lot of salty people and they just feel like running off at their mouth. But I played guitar for him and I heard what you did and you did a good job. So I was quite honored by that, But no two people play the same. No two people play the same. Don't try to play like somebody else. Play like you. Bring your own originality to the table. Because again, I'm not saying that you take it so far away from the original that it doesn't even sound like this is what you're playing. But as you get more seasoned, you start to develop that. You start to develop what should I do to make this work? What I shouldn't do because this ain't going to work. But I thought I would just post this video because, again, my statement or point is this here. Play like you, Don't try to be a carbon copy of the other dude. Just play like you. Because, I got a kick out of that because I'm like, I don't get those that often, but every blue moon I get people that think that I should play like them and they want to map it out for me. I'm like, what is the point of you doing this? What is the point of you telling me this? I'm not going to stop playing it the way I play it. I'll never play that song probably again in my life again. So what is the purpose of this? But there's some people I'm just really surprised that they don't get it. Years of being a player, they still don't get it. I'm not going to play like you. Not trying to play like you. That's what makes the world so interesting to me, because if everybody did it the same way, this would be a boring place to be, as opposed to something unique. Everybody brings something different to the table that's effective, because there's a certain way that I hang out close to dry, since the pandemic. And my wife did her version or her take on it, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, and it actually works. I wouldn't even thought about how to do it this way. So again, life is wonderful, because we got so many different people, personalities, different ways to approach things that are not the same. So again, play like you. Not like the dude on the record, or this other dude, how he plays it, or this is how I play it. That's cool, man. That's cool. It's not how I play it, though. Let's not get into this debate about who's right and who's wrong, and you should adopt my way of playing, or I should adopt your way of playing. Play like you. And on that note, I'm going to sign off. Till next time, take care, and thanks for watching.